Good evening, people. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's doing well. Before I even get started, I want to give a big shout out and a big much love coming from me to all of you guys. Scott McGinnis in the chat included, all you guys who attended this national standout thing today. Pretty amazing stuff. Well done. We'll go over a little bit of the footage from there, because you guys are fantastic. Yeah, so you guys noticed the thumbnail. Like it's a call-in show, but for real this time, because so 2 live streams ago that I did a call-in show and it went really well. It was a really nice show, but the problem is like I played something that you can't see in some countries, so it's blocked in some countries, whatever. So kind of YouTube kind of just really limited the views on it. And so to make up for that, I went live the night before last to do another call-in show. But I went over Krusty's video, and Aiden Turtle Boy was in the chat, and he asked to join, and of course I was inclined to let him up. He always has a place here. There are there's a handful of creators that anytime they want to come up here, they're more than welcome anytime. So I was happy to have him up here because you guys know that I never really plan these things, and anything I plan is hardly ever set in stone. So the live stream took a different direction, but I'm really happy with the direction that it took, and I'm really grateful to Aiden for joining, because I had a really good time, and I think everyone watching had a really good time too. So thank you, Aiden, for that. And thank you guys for watching. So now she wasn't too happy about that. But nevertheless, so this is my 3rd attempt of doing a call-in show. Hopefully this one, nothing happens to this one and it'll stay up. So yeah, I'll and I don't have any. I mean, I can't say I don't have any surprise guests planned, because that a surprise guest is exactly that, a surprise guest. But if one does happen to show up, then I guess we'll try a 4th attempt at having a call-in show that stays up. But I'm all for the surprise guests. I am all for them. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, Krusty wasn't too happy about it. She took to YouTube, posted a community post. She was really, really upset. She was so upset. I mean, this whole thing has turned into something that is unreal. Okay. The Krusty Panties and Turtle Boy saga has been made into a movie. Okay. It has been made into a movie. This is not a joke, people. This is not a joke. This is a for real thing that has happened. And I have the trailer right here for your viewing pleasure, people. This is the premiere of the Krusty Panties Turtle Boy movie trailer. Okay, are you ready? All right, here we go. Yeah, Krusty, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares that you're upset. Nobody gives a shit about your feelings in this entire situation. You have done the most ratchet, disgusting shit that anybody has done in this whole thing. You're like worse than Lindsay. You like facilitated the Lindsay shit. That you like. Now, granted, you know, nobody told Turtle Boy to date her, you know, like we never know they're crazy until it's too late. But you're the one who manipulated the whole situation. What are you talking about? Like you make this long video acting like you're the victim in a situation. You're not the victim of anything. Stop it. Stop it. Nobody gives a fuck about your side of the story. Nobody cares about your side of the story. Nobody. Like, we've seen too much of your shit that sucks to give a fuck what your side of anything is. And I humored you. You should look at it that way. Oh, yeah, the Glare reviewed my video and blah, 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 blah. Like, you should be happy that I put as much attention on it as I did. Because nobody gives a fuck. Like, it serves as humor. You should be happy that it serves some purpose. I mean, I get that you didn't intend for this shit to be funny, but you're funny. I know that you don't intend to be funny, but you're funny because you just are. And we're gonna laugh. We're gonna laugh at your craziness. Like, you are the epitome of a lolcow. Like, straight up. Like, it's wild. It's wild. Like, you're totally, dude. I have there's a creator that I know. She's a friend, and you are totally you fit the profile of what she would review for content, like constantly on a constant basis. And she's well renowned in the lolcow community. Yeah, I'm not gonna bring her up. I'm not gonna say her name because, you know, I don't want to imply like she should do that because, like, yeah, she doesn't respond well to that any more than I do. Like, you need to cover this and you need to cover. No, I don't. No, and now I don't want to even more because you told me to. But my point being is that, like, of the lolcow community, there's lolcows, dude, lolcows. Like, it's you're totally that. Totally. Like, you're like just a better red version of Shanny. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we're not going to talk too much about old Krusty. We're not going to talk too much about old Krusty. We are going to because it's been a few days, so we are going to go over the Microdots video. We are going to go over Microdots' latest video. Now, it won't be a reaction because I've already seen it, but I really liked it, and I am going to add commentary to it. And the description for it is, or the link for it is in the description. But I will be sharing it as we continue this show. Which reminds me, I need to pin. There we go. And the link to Karen Reed's defense fund is linked to the chat, is pinned to the top of the chat. And Liz gifted 1 membership. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Appreciate you, Liz. Yeah, so we are going to now, before I start that, let me get this set up here real quick. before we begin this, let me somebody made this little clip video, and it's pretty great, because I would say this is probably now, this is not to say that this is the closing argument that Alan Jackson or David Yannetti should close with. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if this were to be a closing argument, I don't see how you could lose. And this is, the Goodmans gifted a membership as well, and so did Liz again, another one. Oh my. Thank you so much, guys. Now, if this were to be a closing argument, and it's no surprise who it's coming from, by the way, but if this were to be a closing argument, I don't see how it could lose. And the Goodmans gifted 5 more memberships. Thank you so much. Oh my. Now, this isn't very long. Just imagine what when
you are the party with the burden of
what Mr. Betterow could do in an hour.
Proof, which is the prosecution.
Yeah.
And you are the one that is speculating and say, could have, may have, probably, you lose. Okay? You can't do that. You need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. They have no eyewitnesses. They should have had a ring camera across.
Now, this is the situation here. This is the detail that the idiots who think that there's a snowball's chance in hell that Karen Read will ever be convicted in a court of law. This is what they seem to not understand. They either don't understand it or, well, I mean, in one way or the other, they don't understand it. Either they don't understand this fact that the burden of proof is on the prosecution, and they have to convince a jury who has to be unanimous and be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning they can't have any doubt whatsoever among all of them, and they have to unanimously come to this guilty decision for there to be a guilty verdict. Either they don't understand that fact, or they understand that fact, they just have a skewed reality as to what is beyond a reasonable doubt, what beyond a reasonable doubt actually means. That's my theory. I think it's a little bit of both. Well, I think it's both, but I think it's definitely more the latter. They just don't seem to understand the words beyond a reasonable doubt. That means there just can't be any doubt, period. There can't be any doubt at all. And one of those jurors having doubt means that they all have doubt. That's why when I hear these idiots say things, Plevin, like 9 jurors said that she was guilty. 9 jurors means nothing. 9 jurors equals 0 in a court of law. Means nothing. Period.
Across the street. They don't. They should have had a crime scene secured. They don't. They should have had cops do a real investigation. They didn't. They should have had pictures of the taillight right away when they found the car. They don't. They should have had the proper time logged when they brought the vehicle into the garage. They didn't. They should have had a video showing the right rear taillight. They didn't because somebody flipped for some reason. They should have found the taillight during the first real search or immediately thereafter, the next day, or when, Chief Berkowitz a day or two later found the one piece of taillight. You don't all hands on deck, go find the rest then. These are all things that they should have done. They should have had investigators who had better things to do than talk about, whack job C words and balloon knots. They didn't. It's just a loser on burden of proof.
There you go.
All right. Well, over the course of...
Shut up.
When you are the party with the burden of proof.
I want to play this one more time, uninterrupted, because it doesn't get any plainer than this.
When you are the party with the burden of proof, which is the prosecution.
Yeah.
And you are the one that is speculating and say, could have, may have, probably, you lose. Okay? You can't do that. You need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. They have no eyewitnesses. They should have had a ring camera across the street. They don't. They should have had a crime scene secured. They don't. They should have had cops do a real investigation. They didn't. They should have had pictures of the taillight right away when they found the car. They don't. They should have had the proper time logged when they brought the vehicle into the garage. They didn't. They should have had a real video showing the right rear taillight. They didn't, because somebody flipped for some reason. They should have found the taillight during the first real search or immediately thereafter, the next day, or when, you know, Chief Berkowitz a day or two later found the one piece of taillight. You don't all hands on deck, go find the rest. Then these are all things that they should have done. They should have had investigators who had better things to do than talk about, you know, whack job C words and balloon knots. They didn't. It's just a loser on burden of proof.
There it is. There it is. I don't see how anybody with half a fucking brain who's been following this case and is aware of all of those facts thinks that you could ever get one of those things is enough to get an acquittal. One of those things, just one of those things. And it's not completely fucking bizarre to anyone that this wasn't the case. The first trial. That's really, really weird to me. It's weird to me that it's not weird to you. Now, this is the great Microdots, his newest video. Now, this is a good 42 minutes long here, so.
Betty, are you there? Betty?
Occam's razor is a principle that guides us to choose the simplest explanation with the fewest assumptions when faced with competing theories. But it's often misunderstood, and misusing it can lead to flawed conclusions.
Now, there's going to be some footage here that might be a bit disturbing to some people, but
naturally, as it aligns with
yeah, so there's some footage of like 9/11 here. So just a fair warning. I want to repeat what he says here.
People often use Occam's razor naturally, as it aligns with common sense in many situations. On one specific day, we all used it simultaneously.
Now, I need everyone to stop what they're doing right now and give this video a like if you have not already. Just click on the link I just dropped in chat. Give the video a like. Make sure to subscribe to Microdots as well while you're there. Microdots is absolutely doing God's work here.
At 8:46 a.m., based off of the information we had, the explanation requiring the fewest number of assumptions was that a tragic accident had just occurred. However, we would soon find out that Occam's razor was wrong.
Yeah. People use the term Occam's razor a lot lately. It's starting to be used a lot like narcissist. And the thing is Occam's razor, I think applies to this case, to the Karen Reed case. I think it does, but not in the way that the trolls use it, because Occam's razor, the point that Microdots is making here is Occam's razor is used in the Karen Reed case by people who just want to just assume the simplest answer is, I mean, that's what Occam's razor means. The simplest answer is usually the correct one. Simplest answer is Karen Reed backed into John O'Keefe and drove off. She was drunk. They argued. That's it. Simplest answer, right? But when you look at all the evidence, and I think that's the overall point of this video is, or at least that's what I got out of it, is when you look at all the evidence, Occam's razor is not always the case. Yeah, it's a thing, sure, but it doesn't mean that it always applies. It doesn't always apply. Sometimes it does. But you always have to explore the evidence. You don't just go, hey, Occam's razor, you know, Occam's razor is a conclusion that one would come to after exploring the evidence, not something that you would assume immediately. Now, you could entertain that as the possibility, but you have to seek evidence around it. You have to try to disprove Occam's razor. That's the ethical thing to do. So, Occam's razor is not always the case, because right here, people assumed that there was an accident. Gas line or something blew up. Who knows? Nobody's going to assume the worst. But then
I just heard a loud boom. You did? Was it a plane?
yeah. And knowing that a plane crashed in, right?
Now we've gotten
knowing that a plane crashed in there, even still, an accident. Plane lost control. I mean, how many airline crashes are there? Statistically, it's the safest way to travel. To quote Superman, it's still to quote Superman again, it is still statistically the safest way to travel. So immediately, even still, knowing that the chances of a plane flying into one of the twin towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, that's you're still going to assume it's an accident. You're not going to think that that was a terrorist attack. But then
look at least 3 sides of tower number 1, and that is the only building
it's
of
there you
right
go.
Now, Tommy, we're seeing another
apparently
plane.
that was another plane. We have a witness who we just spoke to a moment ago. We're hearing from Carl Tendler, who was at the Village Apartments in Washington Square. We're trying to bring him on the air.
All right,
that was a
Carl?
second plane that just blew.
Number 1.
It's been another one, Carl.
Yes, he hit in building number 1.
The other building.
You saw how long it took them to process that?
Yes, he flew right into it.
By 9:03 a.m., only 17 minutes after the first plane hit, we received new information and revised our calculus. Occam's razor was now presenting a different solution. We all knew what this meant. Before our eyes, the tragic accident instantly transformed into something far more insidious.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
Oh my God.
this is really intense footage, guys. Some of this footage I've never even seen.
There's a second plane that just hit the World Trade Center.
Now,
My God.
watching George W. Bush process this news always got to me. And even still, I questioned everything. I still to this day question 9/11. I have a lot of questions about it. It doesn't consume me, but I have questions. And I am convinced that because George W. Bush is not an actor, okay? And if he's ever considered an actor, if he's ever referred to as an actor, the word bad comes in front of it. And not, and you know, simply because he's a politician. But he's sincere in his reaction here. I watched this footage of George W. Bush receiving the news of 9/11, and I'm convinced that it's very, very real. I mean, he's sitting in a classroom reading to children. He has to compose his behavior. He has to control his reaction. But I do not believe that he was aware of the details. At the very least, I don't think that he was aware of this at all. Considering his reaction here, I don't think it was cold or callous. I think that George W. Bush's reaction here is very genuine.
There's a second plane that
He processes the information, and then he looks and scans all of the children. And there's hurt in his eyes. There's hurt there. I mean, you're not going to tell me different.
there's a second plane that just hit the World Trade Center.
Stop all departures out of the center, please.
So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Oh my God, another plane has just hit another building, flew right into the middle of it. Explosion. Right, God, it's right in the middle of the building.
Mom, another plane just crashed into the other World Trade Center. Another plane hit a jumbo jet. I'm so scared. I'm leaving. No, don't make it. You can't. Bye. I love you.
Wow. I was with my son. He was just a year old. He had just turned a year old, and I ran a Papa John's at night, and so I went into work, and when I was going to work, my kid's mom, was getting off of work a little while before that. So it worked out really well to where I could keep him during the day. We'd save a bundle on daycare. So she dropped him off that morning, and it was like any other day. And one of the things that we would do consistently is watch Elmo. He didn't give a shit about Sesame Street. He only liked Elmo. he couldn't even really talk yet. He could say water and dad and mom and, you know, and he and so, you know, I had it kind of timed already, like when, you know, I'd watch whatever I wanted, and he would just run. It was a really small apartment. He would just run around, and I would just be like, hey, you know, I'd say his name. I don't want to say his name here, but say his name and hey, you know, get away from there, away from there, get away from there. And he's a great kid, listened. And I remember Elmo came on. It was time for Elmo. He sat down, sat right in front of the TV, watched Elmo. And then Elmo was over, and I changed the channel, and there was special reports on every channel. And America under attack is what it would say. And I just didn't understand. I didn't even put together, you know, airplanes being, I was like, I'm watching, they keep showing these airplanes flying into the buildings. How is that America under attack? And, you know, oh, okay. Yeah, they hijacked the planes and okay. Because when I heard America, immediately I'm thinking nuclear, and, you know, or, you know, a bunch of Russians jumped out of an airplane, and, you know, I didn't even know what the hell was going on in the world. Yeah. And I just, all I knew is I saw America under attack. I grabbed my son, sat him on the chair with me. I held him really close, kept watching, but that was immediately my instinct, was to grab my little boy and hold him, because I was weird. I didn't know where any of this was. You know, they were showing the Pentagon. They were showing New York. It was crazy. And so then, you know, once I had an understanding of the situation, pretty much we went about our day. You know, him and I just went about our day. And it was not real easy, but, you know, it was like, what else is there to do? What else can you do? The whole reason I was scared in the first place was because of him. So, you know, the best thing to do is just, you know, try to have him enjoy the day as much as possible. So that's what I did. I went to work. Everybody at work was talking about it. And then things started changing. You had to take your shoes off at the airport. Couldn't bring toothpaste on an airplane. Just, yeah, everything changed after that. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
On this edition for Saturday, January 29th, a weekend winter storm brings blizzard conditions to the northeast, packing near hurricane-force winds and heavy snow, creating blinding blizzard conditions in some areas. Officials warn drivers to stay off the road, where all non-emergency travel is banned until further notice.
No, please just squirrel line. What is your emergency?
Yes, I need someone to come to 34 Fairview Road in Canton, Mass. There's a man passed out in the snow. There's a guy unresponsive in the snow. He got out of the car and it's been a couple of hours.
Microdots' use of audio in this is insane. Like, it's so good. Because obviously that's Jen McCabe.
I don't know if he's breathing. There are two women trying to do his body heat, and they're hysterical. Well, they had been out.
They've been out drinking.
Yes, but I'm talking hours ago, maybe. And I don't know how long he's been in the snow.
Okay, is there any bleeding or anything? Maybe hit his head on.
Yes, but I'm talking hours ago, maybe. And I don't know how long he's been in the snow.
Okay.
I'm talking hours ago. She catches herself. See, this is one of the reasons, besides the fact that I could always count on Celebrate. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely believe that 2:27 a.m. search happened. Because I just heard her on that 911 call say that he was out there hours ago. And then catches herself. She catches herself. Listen, it's very, very interesting.
They've been out drinking.
Yes, but I'm talking hours ago, maybe. And
I'm talking hours ago, maybe. And then this is where she catches herself, and watch what she says.
I don't know how long he's been in the snow.
Okay.
I don't know how long he's been in the snow. I'm talking hours ago. And then what do you mean? How do you know? How could you possibly know that? How could you possibly know how long, or even have even the slightest clue as to how long he's been out there? You have no idea.
Is there any bleeding or anything? Maybe hit his head out?
Yes, possibly. There seems to be bleeding in the face. I guess he's gone.
We're on the way.
I guess he's gone.
It's me. It's me. You're right. Stay out of sight. Stay out of sight. The police are on the way. Yeah.
Now, it says here not actual audio, so that's very important to keep that in mind here. This is not actual audio. We know from the call logs that these calls were answered, even though she denied speaking to her sister. Jen McCabe denied speaking with Nicole, even though she called Nicole several times, and the calls were answered, and they lied on the stand and said that they didn't speak to each other. Everybody was butt dialing. It was a butt dialing full moon, where instead of turning into werewolves, everybody turns into fucking butt dialers.
Not ours. Listen. I'll send him Brian's number now.
And I'm still very stuck on what the purpose was of taking the screenshot of Brian's contact information. Now, she obviously looked up his contact information, but she was in front of his house. He's married to her sister. So I've taken accidental screenshots by hitting the 2 side buttons at the same time. But why did she delete the screenshot later? Now, I'm willing. Here's the thing about that screenshot, though. Until somebody gives me some sort of overwhelming reason that makes me go, oh, man, that's super suspicious. Besides the fact that I just don't believe in coincidences in this case. Besides that, I'm going to look at the screenshot as just an accidental screenshot, and then she fucking deleted it. Like, I delete screenshots all the time that were accidental. But my issue with that is how long she took to delete the screenshot. Did she remember that she accidentally took a screenshot? Oh, Dream Media, right on. Thank you. So the space and time between when she took the screenshot and then deleted it is what concerns me. So was she going through her pictures and deleting pictures? I don't know. Congratulations. Oh, my bad. Hold on, let me rewind that. Jen calls Brian and searches Google at 6:23. And then 6:24, Lank arrived. Ambulance leaves. Now, look at all this shit. You see the house way up here, right? Look at all these fucking cars out here. Fucking paramedic is there. Karen's screaming the whole time. The fire SUV leaves. You know it arrived with a siren on. And then a fire engine fucking leaves. Engine 3 leaves. You know that fucker had a siren on. But nobody heard nothing, right? Neighbors did, but no. Not the owners of the house, no. And now only Canton the police remain. Only Canton cops there. Crazy. Just fucking crazy.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super fan. Super fan. I
Think we got a super dad, super dad, super dad, super dad, 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 dad. Think we got a super dad.
How dare you? Kristen from Manhattan, thank you so much. Why did she place 3 calls to her sister, Brian, rather than just going inside the house? Right. I mean, there's a lot of these. I mean, all of her behavior is questionable here. It's very strange. Very, very strange. I mean, see, it's very interesting. All the other first responders are gone, except for Canton Police. People who their relationships with the McAlberts have been brought up. And now Jen McCabe, conveniently, of course, it's just a coincidence. Only Canton cops are left. And so Jen McCabe feels comfortable going inside the home. Interesting, right?
Hi, Sergeant Lank with the Canton Police. How are you? Good. So I'm just responding to a scene now. We have a Boston police officer that was just
okay. So this is when Lank places the call after everyone's gone and Jen is inside the house. This is when Lank places the call. This isn't some tiny little detail here. This is a big deal. The ambulance has taken John. The ambulance is gone. And now is when Lank calls in the response.
Found in the snow here, and does have some trauma to his head. Not sure if he's been in a fight.
We know that you called at 6:07, 6:08, or thereabouts, and about 6:23. 2 to Nicole, 1 to Brian, correct?
Correct.
And you'll agree with me that notwithstanding.
And that's also a good point. In none of that footage from the dash cam did we see them even remotely attempt to secure a perimeter, to secure the scene, to make sure it's not tampered with. Not to mention what we're always talking about, which is nobody went and knocked on the door to find out if everybody in the house was okay. Seeing as there's a cop dying on the lawn. And the owners of the house never came out. Also interesting.
Standing those phone calls. By the way, did you leave voicemails?
No.
When did you hang up? Before it went to voicemail, or was it into voicemail before you hung up?
So it was a bit of a hysterical scene that morning, and I was in a state of shock, and I was just calling my sister and my brother-in-law. They did not answer the phone. I cannot tell you when I hung up because it was a hysterical scene. I was in a state of shock. Everyone was running around, and what seems to be forgotten is that my friend was lying there on the ground.
Wow. And the Oscar goes to You know what? It's really funny watching her lie like this, like just sitting there lying. It's really funny because the last live stream we were talking about how she's befriended Krusty Panties and there's a pattern in this type of behavior, and we're seeing these similarities. And it's a similarity amongst the kind of people that you always can count on are fucking shitbags. When they do shitty things and then they try to deflect by making themselves into being the victim in the situation. This is exactly what she does right here. I mean, it's something that you would look for, I would think. Like if I were to become a behavioral expert, right? There's no way I'd get into that profession and dismiss my instincts from just knowing people my entire life. Shitty fucking people. You know what I'm saying? So like I immediately, that's going to be one of the first things that I apply.
What insights can Occam's razor provide about Jen McCabe's testimony regarding that morning? What's the simplest explanation for her phone activity? 2 consecutive calls to her sister inside the home that were answered. Why even make the calls at all when she could have walked right in the unlocked front door to wake Brian, the first responder himself?
That's the perfect question right there. Richie just asked the perfect fucking question. If she could have walked into the house at any given time, just walked in, because that's what she does here. She doesn't knock. She doesn't wait. She doesn't go looking for a key anywhere. She walked right into the front door. Boom. Like nothing. Like she fucking lives there. Why didn't she do that when she first pulled up to the house? Get up, Brian. You know CPR. You're a first responder. Get up. John's on the lawn dying. Why didn't that happen? Nicole, get up. I need blankets. Stat. I need to get this. John's dying on the lawn and we need to get him warm. We don't know how long he's been out there. Why didn't these things happen? Because she knew he was out on the lawn. As a matter of fact, she knew in between 2 and 2:30 a.m. for certain that John was out there on that lawn. I mean, there's no way you're going to convince me otherwise. Knowing that, seeing that shit right there, there's no way there's that many coincidences. Jen McCabe knew where John O'Keefe was, could have saved him, and made an active effort to not do so.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
Patricia Dement, thank you so much. When she called the police, she didn't even sound upset or tell them that he was a cop. Right. He did not. She did not. Now, I don't hold it. I'm really glad that you wrote this in your super chat, and thank you so much. Because I don't hold it against people for staying calm in a 911 call. I'm never that guy that finds that to be suspicious until I hear other things that make it seem suspicious, such as not mentioning that he was a cop. So it's a good point. If she was calm and gave all of the details, I would have been like, good for her for staying calm. and providing all of the details needed in order to get this man's life saved as quickly as possible. No matter what the situation, I would have been like, at least she did that. I would have absolutely done that. But I wouldn't hold it against her, as I said, for being so calm if she had at least told them that he was a police officer. At least. But there's too many things about that call. Too many things about that call.
There's blankets. I don't see blankets, Terry.
And gotten blankets to help warm John. Then, only 18 seconds after hanging up with her sister, took a...
Wait, Liz, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'd be so afraid my sister was hurt inside. I would have gone in the house first thing. That's another excellent point. Thank you, Liz. Wouldn't she be like, I hope everybody's okay? I hope my sister's okay? If she doesn't know what the fuck's going on, why isn't her instinct to run inside the house and check on her family? This is her family, is it not? Why didn't Jen McCabe run inside the house to check on the safety of her loved ones? Because not only did the police not do that, why the fuck didn't she do that? Hans Gruber, thank you so much. I would have been laying on the car horn. Totally. If I didn't speak to my sister when I called her twice, I'm going in that house. We know that she could have. She walked right in. That entire time, she's just chilling. And I don't just mean literally because they're in a blizzard. Why didn't she run inside the house first thing? Wait, oh my God. That's John laying out there? I got to call 911. First thing to do, call 911. Great. But run into the house with 911 on the call. There's a man lying out on the snow. I'm checking to see if my family's okay right now. Why didn't that happen? And I'm sure she'd have an answer for that. If asked at trial, she'd have an answer. She's got an answer for everything. And of course, the answer would sound something like, oh, because I was in shock. My friend was lying out there. Her friend, by the way. The guy. My friend was lying out there. I was in shock. The fuck out of here with that. All that and the 2:27 a.m. search, get the fuck out of my face.
Screenshot of Brian's contact information, which, by the way, she coincidentally deleted later that morning 2 minutes after speaking to Michael Proctor. Brian and Nicole were not expecting John's body to be discovered at this particular time. They would have needed a stealth warning that authorities were on the way. But if Jen confessed that they spoke, then they would have to explain why the home didn't light up with activity until much later.
Exactly.
And why Brian did nothing to help.
Exactly. So if Nicole admits to speaking to Jen when she called, one call 7 seconds long, another one 9 seconds long, they would have to answer for not helping John. They would have to answer for not at least reacting. Because that is the behavior of people hiding out, not being oblivious to the situation, deliberately avoiding the reality of the situation. That's what that behavior is. Mike B from the 413, thank you so much. A competent dispatcher would say, don't go in. Look what happened when they had Brian Camp go back in during the self-defense case. Good point. But maybe she wouldn't have even known. Maybe she wouldn't have even told the dispatcher. The point is that her instinct should have been to go in. And it just never even comes up. Now I understand being like, I don't even know. Because I mean, here's the thing: is if she's concerned, there's no talking her way out of this. Because if she's scared to go in because she doesn't know if everybody's okay and there's still a perpetrator inside, fair enough, cool. But why doesn't this come up during the 911 call? Explain that. If she was afraid that there might still be a perpetrator inside the house, and she's afraid of her, she's concerned for her own safety, why didn't she go inside that house? Or why didn't she at least tell the 911 operator, I don't know if my family's okay? My brother-in-law and my sister live here, and I'm really scared for their safety. Why wasn't she? That's the overall question here. Why wasn't she concerned about the safety of her sister and her brother-in-law and her nephew? Unless she was already aware of what was going on. Unless she was aware of what was already happening and what happened to John O'Keefe. Because she's already sure, her actions are dictating that she's sure of the safety already of her family, of her loved ones. She's already sure of it. How could she be sure unless she knew what happened to John?
Digital forensic phone records are vastly more reliable than human testimony due to their objectivity, accuracy, consistency.
Well, that would have been a sound explanation for her phone calls with Nicole having been answered. But she denied it. She denied ever speaking to her sister. But what's the harm in going, hey, unlock the door so I can go in? Oh, I spoke to her briefly. I told her to unlock the door, and then she unlocked the door for me. That's not a crime. But she denies ever speaking to her at all.
And resistance to manipulation. Either you can choose to invoke a series of improbable anomalies to justify Jennifer's extraordinary story, or conclude, simply, that she's lying.
Exactly.
That is what it is. That is the truth.
A lot of coincidences.
I could watch Alan Jackson cross these people all day, and Yannetti, dude. Like, he was just. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
A lot of coincidences indeed. So many details to keep straight. It must be exhausting being Jen McCabe.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
idea of anybody having a leaf blower, and I did.
As the sky was lightening, Canton PD convened back to the crime scene to begin the first search. Notice there's only a few inches of snow on the ground. We see here that the weather conditions were initially favorable, though they began to deteriorate as the storm intensified throughout the day. 2 vehicles parked in the
Oh shit. Sorry guys. I was muted. All right. So sorry about that. So you see how high the snow is here, right? And if you could see this much of the tires. Now I realize that these cars are parked in the driveway, and this is the grass and the snow that's accumulated on the grass. But if you could see this much of their tires from this angle, the snow really isn't that high. It's not high enough. My point being is that it's not high enough to see John O'Keefe laying, to not see John O'Keefe laying right here. I'm not muted anymore. Some of you guys are behind. So,
driveway appear to have not moved in a few hours, including Brian Albert's Ford Edge, which coincidentally itself is not blocked in, and by definition is the last vehicle to have moved into place. The third is the McCabe's 2020 Yukon XL, which Matt McCabe had just arrived in only minutes ago. The rest of the family and Brian Higgins will be here shortly after the police leave.
Do you see what I'm saying about the height of the snow here? There's no way that you would not see John O'Keefe laying in that snow. Like that early in the night. This is how much snow is accumulated all night, people. This is after a blizzard. This is the next day after a blizzard. You see what I'm saying? So there's no way that all of these people walking out the door, walking down this walkway right here, are not going to see John O'Keefe laying in that snow. There's just no way.
Albert will arrive soon to leave donuts and coffee inside of a car for Brian Jr. An obvious excuse manufactured as the reason she came to the home, to deny knowledge that John was dead at 4:55 a.m., as she told police. We see Canton Officer Michael Lank exit his 2015 Toyota Tacoma pickup and walk towards the crime scene. He is a childhood friend of the Alberts and has helped them out before.
Well,
as a childhood friend,
I hate to harp on it too much, but it's just like, because I see people in chat are responding to it, and you guys seem to be in agreement with me. Look, like there's a curb here. The lawn comes up higher than the driveway. You see my point? So anybody and you're able at this angle to see that much of the tires of these cars, you would be able to see John O'Keefe laying in that snow at midnight, at 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. You would be able to see him wearing dark clothing, laying in that snow. There's no way that not one of 11 people walking out that front door saw him. It doesn't make any sense.
Of the Alberts and has helped them out before.
We grabbed some crime scene tape. I wrapped it around probably the flagpole, tree, and cruiser. It was hard to keep up just because the wind was blowing at such a good rate.
What's up, Mizzy?
The top wind speed during the morning search was 28 miles per hour. Considered a strong breeze by the National Weather Service. This video was captured during the search, and the conditions were neither too windy nor too snowy to hang yellow tape, which is designed to withstand various types of extreme weather, especially high wind and moisture.
I mean, yeah, dude. Like, come on.
With the addition of one object,
fucking break with
the
that.
scene could have been easily secured.
I love that he got
various
footage.
types of.
I love that he got footage of the shit just blowing in the wind, bro. Like, that's killing me right now. Like, he got footage of like police tape just blowing in the wind, bro. Like, don't tell me that it was too windy for fucking police tape, dude. Stop it. Look at this shit.
Extreme weather, especially high wind and moisture.
It's windy as fuck. Look at that shit.
To withstand various types of extreme weather, especially high wind and moisture. With the addition of one object, the scene could have been easily secured.
Boom.
But Brian didn't want any attention.
All right. Take a slight intermission. Stop what you're doing right now and click on the link I'm dropping in the chat and give the video a like, please. Make sure to do that. Click on the link I just dropped and give the video a like if you have not already. Please. Microdots is amazing. And make sure to sub to Microdots too while you're there.
Lucky's plow passes by once again, providing us with an excellent perspective to assess the height of his towering truck.
It's up high. The seat is raised.
Despite plenty of daylight, minimal snow accumulation, and only a strong breeze, the officers located exactly 0 pieces of shattered taillight glass. Canton PD's work is complete. Together, they drive back to the police station with 6 solo cups containing blood and the broken cocktail glass, packed into 2 unsealed brown paper shopping bags.
Right there.
Leaving the crime scene unsecured, free for anyone to contaminate it. Like nothing ever happened. Meanwhile, all the main players are returning to the home for an emergency family meeting.
Wow. An emergency family meeting.
The Canton police are relieved of their duties as the matter.
Interesting how there's so much effort to get together and have a family meeting, but not even remotely the same amount of effort was put towards helping John when he was laying in the lawn. I find that really interesting. A lot of effort, a lot of coordination, and getting all the family members together to talk it out, right? But not a whole lot of coordination at all. At all. I want to emphasize that. To help John when it mattered.
Massachusetts State Police assume jurisdiction over the case. Inside the Albert's kitchen, Jen tells them everything that's transpired so far, then shares an idea.
When she first called me, we were driving in the car. We were at John's house. It was like, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead? I have a cracked tail light. There was a crack in it.
Bro, like using her testimony from trial and recreating that scene where they're like having this meeting is just so dope. That is just perfect.
This is good. No, it's better than good. It's perfect. But there has to be a direct physical link to Karen for it to be cut and dry. Or else they may suspect us. We need to find the SUV and get it back to the Sallyport before the state police search. I'll call him back now.
Are you ready?
Bro, and he uses AI so good in this. Now that's interesting right there, right? Take a look at that image. Now there was a blizzard all night. That's a piece of taillight from a blizzard all night long, right? And it just happened to be right there on top of the snow, on top of a big old pile of snow. Amazing. No blood found on that piece of tail light, though. It's also amazing because that supposedly caused the scratches on John O'Keefe's arm. That's how it broke, right? So, very interesting that this piece of tail light is just right there on top of the snow when they search the area. Shit. How many hours later? I mean, they arrive at the scene at 6 a.m. They first arrive at the scene at 6 a.m. So at least what, 12 hours later? They come back, search the area. Okay. If they didn't preserve it at all. Okay. And when they come search the area, they find this piece of taillight laying on top of the snow after a blizzard all night. Okay.
You could choose to believe it was all just a series of coincidences. That the second search just happened to be delayed until Proctor, Tully and team returned Karen's vehicle to the Canton Police Sallyport. And minutes later somehow managed to find taillight fragments buried under more than 20 inches of snow in the dark. Even after the area had already been searched with very little accumulation in broad daylight. But once you find out that Michael Proctor and the Commonwealth lied about the timeline of those events in official police reports and court documents, you are completely disconnected from logic and in outright defiance of Occam's razor. After all, a string of coincidences that all serve a single objective is a near statistical impossibility, especially when it can be far more easily explained by deliberate intent. It's blatantly obvious to anyone with even a modicum of critical thinking that Michael Proctor lied about the time he arrived in Dighton to create the illusion that he and Tully couldn't possibly have been involved in planting evidence. And every officer in that Sallyport knew it. With one unable to resist the urge to insert himself by spotting a red shard as he drove by, adding yet another utterly inconceivable coincidence to the fable. As bad as this is, it gets worse. On September 2nd, 2023, we learn that the Commonwealth was forced to quietly change their timeline, only after their deception was definitively proven by Dighton police records.
Oops.
Initially, they attributed the discrepancy to a daylight savings time change. However, when that excuse was debunked, they could only claim it, a scrivener's error. As the sole law enforcement officer to have seen the condition of Karen Reed's taillight before the SUV came under the custody of Michael Proctor and the Massachusetts State Police, Dighton Officer Sergeant Nick Barrows must have fully understood the gravity of his testimony. He chose his words carefully and deliberately.
I saw that there was some damage to the right rear taillight. To my best ability and recollection, that taillight was not completely damaged. It was cracked and a piece was missing, but not completely damaged.
Boom. Which is what the footage of her pulling out of John O'Keefe's property shows. Right after she backs into his SUV. Now, this man is Sergeant Nick Barrows, and he works for the Dighton Police Department. And he was one of the officers from the Dighton Police Department the next day when they towed Karen Reed's SUV from her parents' home. And he is testifying here in court that the taillight was not fully damaged. He made it a point to express this. I find that really, really interesting. Let's hear that one more time.
To my best ability and recollection, that tail light was not completely damaged. It was cracked and a piece was missing, but not completely damaged.
Why would he add that it was not completely damaged?
Look at that.
Why mention?
Now, I would describe that as completely damaged. I would not describe that as cracked. I would describe that as completely damaged. Yes, 100%. I guarantee you that it did not look like that when Officer Barrows saw the SUV. I guarantee you that the reason why he felt the need to express that it was simply cracked and not fully damaged was because he's seen this picture. And he knows it did not fucking look like that when that tow truck came to pick it up. And oh my God, GP Dog Drool just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Oh my God. So, yeah, that's not cracked right there.
The condition it was not in. The only plausible explanation is that he saw this photograph that had been publicly available, taken hours after witnessing Michael Proctor take custody of Karen's vehicle and immediately recognized it had been tampered with. Exactly. Officer Barrows knows his brothers in law enforcement are perpetrating a hoax, and he will not play along. Jen McCabe herself initially told police it had a crack in it.
You actually said, I saw a crack in it, correct?
That's what he said, I said. I'm telling you, I said the taillight was cracked.
This is another example of him screwing up your words.
And now we have the only officer to testify with no skin in the game telling us it was cracked. How many Commonwealth coincidences are you willing to accept? At what point does your sense of plausibility reach its breaking point? How long will this charade be allowed to go on?
I don't want to text about it. Now that's Nicole Albert sending a text to, I think, Jen McCabe. We'll get more info tomorrow. Don't want to text about it. Now, one might argue, okay, well, maybe she just doesn't, maybe it's too much to type. That's what I would type. Too much to type. I'll call you. But I wouldn't say I don't want to text about it. That implies I don't want anything in writing. That's what that implies.
I didn't need time to make up a story because I have the truth of why we went.
And the truth, according to you, is you pulled up at Michael Lang's house. The first responding officer and friends of the Albers had a meeting with him the next day that was never reported to anybody for any purpose.
I
just met with his wife out in the car while the car was running for 45 minutes to an hour. That's your story.
It's not a story, it's the truth. Carrie dropped her daughter off. The wife came out. Carrie is a talker. They started talking. A tragedy had happened the day before.
It is interesting, would you not agree, that the day before you had this off-the-books meeting at Michael Lang's house. Nicole.
Jackson there, man, slipping that in. This off-the-books meeting.
Albert says, we'll get more info tomorrow, meaning the very day you show up at Lang's house.
Again, I never spoke with Mike Lang at his house. It was not an off-the-books meeting. It was Carrie dropping her daughter at one of her good friends' house, whose husband happens to be a Canton cop.
Jen is confronted with phone location data that places her.
Because, you know, that's just one of so many coincidences.
Her at Officer Lank's home for approximately 1 hour. The day.
Because this gets interesting here. Let's hear what Richie says here.
Whose husband happens to be a Canton cop.
Jen is confronted with phone location data that places her at Officer Lank's home for approximately 1 hour. The day after John was killed. It also indicates that she stopped at 34 Fairview just minutes before.
1 hour. Okay? Her story is Carrie's a talker. I just sat in the car. You're going to tell me you just sat there in the car for an hour outside of this person's house while she talked? I call bullshit. Now, that's possible, but when you put that up against all the other fucking coincidences, you know, yeah, that's just not believable. Sorry, but it's not. It's not believable at all. There's nothing here to indicate to me that I should believe anything that Jen McCabe says.
Presumably to pick up Nicole.
We didn't stop by. Maybe Carrie slowed down, but we did not stop by 34.
The information the sisters were after was so sensitive that they refused to risk discussing it over text and insisted on meeting with Michael Lang in person. For the third-party suspects and Norfolk officials, communication would prove to be an ongoing challenge, especially once they became aware of the federal investigation about 1 year later. Inevitably, every criminal organization must grapple with this and know the safest way to communicate is face-to-face. However, it becomes a serious issue when you're caught meeting with individuals you have no legitimate reason to be associated with, like a witness visiting the home of an investigator.
Did you have any conversation?
Now that let's go back to that shot right there. Now this was your boy Turtle Boy, your boy Aiden, and I think that this was what gathering this and writing about it was what set them off, was what made them finally crack the whip and charge him. Because make no mistake, it was Turtle Boy Aiden Carney who uncovered this, at least to the public. It was absolutely through his investigations that this was uncovered, that Jen McCabe's Jeep was spotted at Michael Proctor's home. So, make no mistake about that. So again, it's not coincidence that just after this happens, Turtle Boy gets charged. Now he gets charged. Now, obviously, they were building a case, but I think that this was the move that made them go, all right, that's it. Let's slap the cuffs on this man. I think that's absolutely what happened. And then this person who worked for Avon got charged too. So I don't think I need to really emphasize, excuse me. I don't know why I got mixed up there. I don't know why I have to, I don't know that I don't think I need to emphasize too much that it's suspicious for a witness to be at the home of the lead investigator, because there's no, that I've never heard of a witness going to the investigator's home. And I remember when this happened and me saying the same thing, it's absolutely suspicious. I've never heard of that happening. And then on top of that, it turns out, thanks to Aiden Carney, Turtle Boy, that we know that the Proctors are good friends with the McAlberts, practically family, according to Michael Proctor's mother. So we know. And seeing her at his home, because that could be explained away if he's at hers, she's a witness. I'm going there to get a statement. Okay. But come to my house? I got some questions for you, so come to my house? No, that's not how that works. It's not how that works at all.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
Terry Sue, thank you so much. Jennifer McCabe's bossy mean ass is not sitting for an hour while Carrie talks. Come on, I totally agree. There's no, I'm not seeing Jen McCabe just sitting there and being like, no, it's fine. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm good. She's gonna go. Can we go, please? I'm saying Jen McCabe is the one doing the talking. That's what I'm saying. I'm of the opinion that Jen McCabe is the one doing the talking that whole time at Lang's house. Guaranteed. So, yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Terry Sue.
Associated with, like a witness visiting the home of an investigator.
Did you have any conversation before your testimony today with anybody about you going to Michael Lang's house on January 30th? Anybody?
Alan Jackson already knows. The answer is
yes.
Who was it and when?
And that's because the secret meeting between Jen McCabe, Nicole Albert, and Michael Lang was never known until a report was produced for the first trial. Jen will describe the circumstances in which she recently became aware.
It was a couple of weeks ago at the DA's office.
At this early stage, they were already acting as seasoned conspirators. To fully grasp this, you must first...
Now, I have to interrupt there. Her explanation for going to Proctor's house was because she became friends with Elizabeth Proctor through their harassment of Turtle Boy, that it brought them so close together because they're both so harassed and intimidated by Turtle Boy that they found a sisterhood in their harassment of Turtle Boy. brought them close together. So they decided to meet and sit together and talk about how much they're being harassed by Turtle Boy. The fuck out of here, dude. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that.
First understand exactly how tense things were for the first 5 days, until Karen was arraigned on February 2nd. They were trapped in an agonizing limbo, unsure if their involvement would be exposed. At any moment, the situation could unravel disastrously. Information was scarce, yet critically valuable. This is why it was crucial for Jen, husband Matt, Brian, and Nicole Albert to stay coordinated through their group chat. And why Matt McCabe acted as a lookout, texting them a message that read, "Troopers back out front, but in front of Asian house," and trying to get a picture for Brian. It also explains why Jen gleefully reported back to them that Kerry was sticking to the script during her police interview, telling them everything. And Proctor is already sending his friends hate-filled text messages targeting Karen and boasting about the untouchable status of Boston cops. Julie Albert was so relieved at Karen's arrest that she vocalized her desire to reward Michael Proctor with a gift. While Chris Albert was being instructed to tell the media that the guy never came into the house and to ask questions. They each had their role, and until Karen was placed in handcuffs, they were teetering on the knife's edge. Every move carried the weight of potential disaster, where even the smallest misstep could trigger catastrophic consequences. Jen goes on to describe her meeting at the DA's office, where she found out she's been caught at Lank's home.
Mr. Lally, Miss McLaughlin, Steve Nelson, Trooper Brian Tully, I believe, and another woman, I can't remember her name, unfortunately. My daughter Allie came with me also. It was a casual meeting to explain this process.
What did Mr. Lally show you?
He showed me nothing. Mr. Lally was not there when this conversation happened.
I love how she said a casual meeting to explain this process. I love that for two reasons, because she used the term casual to describe it, because she just had to do that. It was very important to put in the word casual, to lighten the importance of it to the listener. And I also find it funny that it was to explain this process, right? It was to explain this process. Damn, okay. But Lally wasn't there. Why wasn't Lally there? To explain the process. There was all these people there, but Lally wasn't there. He's the prosecutor. And the process she's referring to is sitting in the courtroom and testifying. So, no, I don't think it was casual at all. And I don't believe for a second that Lally wasn't there. Not even for a fucking second.
Brian Tully told me.
What exactly did he tell you?
I love that AI that he's using there.
It happened. Brian Tully told me.
What exactly did he tell you?
Just dope.
The reason you went to Lank's. Figure it out.
He said, "Did you go to Michael Lank's on January 30th? And at first I said, "No, I've never been to his house." And then I thought about it and I said, "Oh my gosh, yes, I did go there." And that was the extent of the conversation.
Trooper Tully had you come down for an interview. He confronted you with a fact that had never been disclosed before, to wit, you showed up at Michael Lank's house, and when you said, hang on, I think your words were, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I think I did go there." And he didn't ask a follow-up question.
What does Jen do when she's cornered, being asked unexpected questions she never prepared answers for? She knows her story makes no sense. Inside the conference room, the DA's attorneys pretend everything's above board and legitimate. but they're keeping a second set of books, to be discussed with only certain individuals, more discreetly. Even a master manipulator like Jen can't fabricate an entire honest conversation about the report off the top of her head. And she certainly can't reveal what Tully really said to her. So she reverses it and blames Jackson.
He was there. You're spinning all of this.
Oops.
Ma'am, I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't spin. There's a judge here to make sure that I don't spin. I'm asking you a question. It's very direct.
I do not believe he asked me a follow-up question.
So that was the end of that conversation about Michael, correct?
Correct.
Dude, like, I don't
The end of that
understand.
conversation about Michael, correct?
Correct. I believe he asked me a follow-up question.
So that was the end of that conversation.
She's just ill, dude. You know what I mean? Like, she's just.
Oh! Ew, dude! What the fuck?
I mean, she is. Yeah.
Conversation about Michael, correct?
Correct.
Can't. She's just so fucking rancid, dude. Dude, I have never seen, I have to get this off my chest, dude. I have never seen so many fucking fucked up women like involved in a case. I have never seen so many in my life. And the most normal, classiest one is the one that's accused and on trial. It is fucking crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it, dude. You look, dude, I could just fucking go down a list naming people. Fucking every McCabe, every fucking Albert, like all the women, every single one of them. The fucking paramedic, whatever the fuck her name was. Krusty, Lindsay. Like, it's fucking wild, bro. Jill Daniels. Like, I've never seen so many fucked up women. Like, it's wild, dude. It's not just like there's one fucked up woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like that. It's like there's a fucking gang of insane fucking zombie women, dude. Like, just brain suckers. Crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Like, anybody who's followed true crime cases, dude, have you seen, can you tell me in any fucking true crime case that you've ever followed that you've seen so many fucked up women? Like, it's wild. It's wild. I've never seen anything like it. I've fucking never seen anything like it. Dude, right?
February 7th, 2022. Boston police officer John O'Keefe was laid to rest at Blue Hill Cemetery.
Microdots is in the house. Make sure, guys, stop what you're doing right now. Give this video a like. Oh shit, no. Didn't want to drop that one. No, my bad. Yes, stop what you're doing. Give this video a like. There we go. And make sure to sub to Microdots if you're not subbed to him already. Do yourself a favor, because this video is amazing.
Only about a 10-minute drive from Canton. And although Brian Albert, his brother Kevin, and Brian Higgins traveled to other states to attend services for fallen officers, they apparently didn't find it worthwhile to attend John's. Surprising, given that they claimed to like him, were among the last people to see him, and at least according to them, were shocked to discover that he was found dead on their lawn. Or, a simpler explanation may be that John's funeral is the last place on earth they wanted to be.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Like, they're homies, right? Fucking homies, right? Like, you're not gonna go to a fellow cop's funeral? He died on your lawn, dude. He died on your lawn. And you're not gonna go to a fellow Boston cop's funeral who died on your lawn and you were hanging out with him that night? You had just come from another cop's funeral that night? And we're supposed to not think that's suspicious? And you take that, and along with everything else that Microdots here has pointed out of Jen McCabe, that's not suspicious? Come on, man.
An event surrounded by his loved ones, alongside hundreds of other cops and detectives, where you might be put on the spot to answer questions before you have your story straight. If either Brian Albert or
how do you like your eggs? Exactly.
Or Higgins had even the smallest scratch on their face or hands, it would have been noticed. A risk not worth taking, especially when things seemed to be unfolding in their favor. Karen had been arrested. Proctor was leading the investigation, and the DA was building its case. They could relax now and get back to normal life. Everything was in its right place.
Till Yannetti came along.
Hold on to the memories. They will hold on to you. But yesterday's gone. We gotta keep moving on. I'll always remember you and what makes you beautiful, class of 2022.
Dude, like, it literally breaks my fucking, well, not literally, of course not, but it fucking breaks my heart to see Karen in handcuffs, to like see footage of her in handcuffs, knowing everything that we know. Like, it just fucking really hurts.
High-profile attorney Alan Jackson made his first appearance Thursday, presenting new evidence indicating O'Keefe was severely beaten. Then dropped a bombshell, claiming to have uncovered forensic phone data showing Jennifer McCabe Googled how long to die in cold hours before O'Keefe was reported missing. Karen Reed's attorneys said today in court that they have proof of a cover-up by police officials and the DA's office.
The district attorney is well aware of his obligations to resolve any conflict of interest, spokesman David Traub wrote.
Aidan Kearney set off in 3 and nuke 2, bomb 1.
This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. You better get out of the way!
Newly unsealed letters released today
crazy.
confirming the existence of an ongoing federal investigation into Norfolk DA Michael Morrissey and the Massachusetts State Police.
The district attorney is the target, he says, of that ongoing investigation.
And they just sit up there and they lie with the straight face.
Spokesman David Traub and ADA Lynn Beeland have now both resigned from the DA's office.
Proctor will have a hearing on January 15th on misconduct charges.
Matthew Farwell was taken into custody today in an FBI raid for the murder of Sandra
Investigated under the same mass.
I mean, look, man. Listen, I'm gonna play all that shit again because it's important. You need to understand. You look at all of this shit, and just this stuff alone, not even including the stuff I said earlier that creates doubt, not even including the stuff that Betero said at the beginning of this live stream that I played that footage of. Does that create doubt? Just this stuff right here that Microdots is pointing out creates doubt.
State Police.
The district attorney is the target, he says, of that ongoing investigation.
And they just sit up there and they lie with the straight face.
Spokesman David Traub and ADA Lynn Beeland have now both resigned from the DA's office.
Proctor will have a hearing on January 15th on misconduct charges.
Lead detective on the Karen Reed case right there is probably about to get fired because of his behavior in the Karen Reed case, in the investigation. We saw a stark contrast between the way that he conducted the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, into that investigation versus the investigation into Brian Walsh. He did everything completely by the book. He did everything completely by the book. This case should have never even went to trial. Everything that we're hearing is confirmation, not just that she should be acquitted. That's not how we should be thinking. That we should be thinking in terms of the fact that, like, if we believe in the justice system, if we are patriots that believe in the American justice system, what our forefathers had in mind, what Mr. John Adams had in mind for this country, for the law, for justice, you should be thinking in terms of this should have never even went to trial in the first place. Karen Reed should have never even been charged in the first place. Thinking on those terms, you can only reach that conclusion knowing all of the facts of this case. Knowing everything that Microdots has pointed out just in this video alone.
Matthew Farwell was taken into custody today in an FBI raid for the murder of Sandra
Investigated under the same Massachusetts State Police unit as the Karen Reed case.
All our blood lying on the floor. Sense the crowd expecting something more.
Good shit, dude. Good shit.
Opened up proudly on display. What we try so hard to hide away.
There's more. My bad.
John never went in the house. It wasn't a story. It was the truth.
Just like she said, I hit him.
Correct.
That's what the report says, yes.
Do you think Officer Lane got it wrong?
Perhaps, yes.
Your testimony is that they got it wrong.
I went to high school with somebody named Caitlin Albert.
I'm sure it happens to everyone. You forget something and then you're like, oh my God, that's what it was. Oh my gosh, yes, I did go there.
Your life would be much easier if Karen Reed was just dead.
I guess I thought I went home.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your answer. I believe I went home. I was completing my drive out my house.
I don't remember making any of those calls, so my assumption is I put my phone in my back pocket.
So the fact is, you were
What
speaking to
dial?
Brian Albert in the
Wow.
middle of the night, approximately 3 hours before Mr. O'Keefe's body was found in his yard. Did I create I hit him, or did you?
Did you see either of those vehicles arrive in front of Fairview?
Yes.
You saw them pull up?
No, actually,
I always tell the truth.
but I do not recall deleting any phone calls. I believe
Well, it's kind of like a butt dial.
As a
Bro. Bro. Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second here. Like, you could see her accessing the part of her brain where she's trying to remember the rehearsed line because it's perfectly timed here. That shit's insane. Look at fucking No Game over here. Brian Albert, come here. I've got something for you. I've got look at my mouth. You're a decorated dude.
always tell the truth.
But I do not recall deleting any phone calls.
Well, it's kind of like a
wow.
As a butt dial.
Deleting any phone calls.
Well, it's kind of like a butt dial.
As a butt dial.
Wow.
I don't know.
Lies. Lies. All right. Okay. Phone line now open. You call, I answer, we talk. Okay. Dude, Microdots, absolutely amazing. And make sure to sub to Microdots.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Will. It's Crazy Brazilian Lady.
Crazy Brazilian Lady. What's up, Crazy Brazilian Lady?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Snowing. Make sure nobody hang out with McCobbers tonight.
Yeah,
January.
it's really cold here too. It was kind of flurrying slightly, but I don't think it's gonna snow where I'm at.
Okay.
But,
I'm going to be really mean tonight. Can I?
Okay.
Jenny on the block. You such a liar. You are the most hateful woman for 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025.
Well, it's still early in 2025. So, but I'll give you the other 3 years. I'll give you the other 3 years.
It's 2025, and she's going to come up with more lies. And one more thing, I still don't understand. I'm a parent. I have 2 daughters. I still don't understand how can other parents allow their kids to hang out with those people. There's kids. I don't care. I know they're kids. It's not their fault. I don't care. My mother always said it. Hang out with you, what? And I'll tell you who you are. We saw all what happened in the house, that they went and destroyed a house, and who was involved? McAlberts. I told you I was going to be mean. Sorry, Will.
I mean, that's not mean. You're pointing out facts. You're simply saying what your mother always taught you. You're describing actions as something that lives up to that theory from your wise mother. I can't say that I disagree with you. I don't think, of course, that doesn't apply every single time, but I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Most people hang out with their own, you know.
And another thing, Will, I went on a rabbit hole this week or past week. I think, I know Proctor did it because they know McAlberts, but I think deep down he was following orders from Tali. Why I say that? We saw what he did to Aiden. Tali is more involved in this shit than we all know.
Oh, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Yeah. I think that Tully is
a body with
he's Morrissey's right hand. He's the beast man to Skeletor.
Yes.
He's the Destro to Cobra Commander. I've always said this. Yes, I agree with you 100%. I think Tully is definitely
Tully,
I think Chris Albert
can see his head is a shape of the dick head and it's inside of Morris's asshole. I'm so mad today. You have no idea. And I have no drink yet.
Okay. I think that Chris Albert pulls more strings as well than we give him credit for. I think he does, and I think Tully is definitely the go-to, the mouthpiece for Morrissey between the McAlberts and Morrissey.
Yes. Do you know why I went on this rabbit hole? Because the search team was waiting for a green light to start searching. They arrived 50 minutes before they were allowed to search, and that order came from Tali.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's why I think Tali is more involved in this shit than Proctor.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I totally agree. I think Proctor is just somebody who the McAlberts can trust, and they made sure that he was going to be the person in charge.
And how stupid is Proctor now? The only one that's not having a payroll and not say everything he knows. That's so stupid.
Right.
You should save your ass, dude. I know they are listening. Proctor, save your family because you know you can save your family.
It's you know, I get concerned, man, because you know there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in this that know more than what they're saying, and somebody needs to come forward. You know, this is
They're not going to.
I mean, I don't think so either, because they all have something to lose. So, you know, everybody's like, oh, well, you know, why would they all? There's no way all those people could keep that secret. Yeah, they can. If each one of them has something to lose, then that's their incentive to keeping the secret, period, to protect their own asses.
I can't wait to see. Now I'm changing everything. Like, it took me a long time to call you, but now I'm going to say everything I have to say. I can't wait to see Coco and Julie Albert get on the stand, and we're going to see how much they age, because this guilty in their mind is killing them and it's aging them. They're going to look like a fucking 500-year-old lady.
Oh man, I wonder if
This is
somebody
too
else.
much for you. I know.
I
Sorry.
wonder if somebody will slip and say bukkake again. I can't wait for that. I think that'll be great.
Oh no, I think they learn. I think they learned their ass off.
You think
and
so?
I think they. Oh yes, and I think they.
I hope not.
I think they're watching their trial. They're watching that video every day, so they can memorize everything they said. Guarantee you, because I know all the words they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Will. Have a good night. I have like maybe 8 inches of snow already here, so.
Wow.
I gotta go.
Okay.
Yes, it's coming down hard.
All right, crazy Brazilian lady. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Call from Boinkers.
Plevins Boinkers, what's up?
Hey, it's Boinkers Spawn.
Oh, this is Boinker Spawn. Okay. Hi,
yes,
Boinker Spawn.
Boinkers has a spawn.
Okay. Hello.
Will, the other night you were talking on your live about how John O'Keefe had throw up on the inside of his pants.
Yeah, that's at least how I remember it. I remember seeing that somewhere.
Yeah, ever since you said that, I can't stop thinking, what if Jennifer McCabe choked when her husband walked in the room and that's how the situation started?
You know, I had that theory, that very loose theory, early on, like a year ago. I had that very loose theory that there was something between possibly between John O'Keefe and Jen McCabe, and they were caught. But I mean,
throw up just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what happened. I don't know.
I'm not either. I'm not saying that's what happened. I just can't stop thinking about it since. Yeah.
I always toss that around in the old noodle. But you know, we may never know. But I mean, I want to know. I want to know what happened to to all the blood that he supposedly lost. I have a lot of questions.
And his blood was going down when he was apparently laying on the ground. Like, nothing.
How does that happen? Right. How does that happen? Yeah. So a lot of questions. But nothing that points to the Commonwealth's even remotely to their theory. Like it doesn't it doesn't take ARCA experts is what's really interesting. It doesn't take ARCA experts to realize that this is not plausible. Like there's no way Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her vehicle based on his injuries alone and what we know about them. So it's not possible. But the fact that there were ARCA experts, the fact that there were ARCA experts solidifies it. And yet, for some reason, there's still doubters out there. It's really bizarre. Yeah, it's really bizarre to me.
4 + 4 = 36 to them.
Right. It's very, very strange. It's very strange.
Yep. Well, I will let you take more callers.
All right. Well, thanks,
it was great
Boinker
talking
Spawn. You too. Have a good one.
Boink,
boink. Boink, boink. Bye-bye.
Bye. Call from
Dina.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Clara.
Dina. How are you? You must be exhausted. All the standouts today.
My favorite. I missed you.
I love it. I got to give you a round of applause for your standouts today.
Oh my God. We had the biggest standout yet at Dedham.
I love it. That's amazing.
There had to be over 75 people.
No shit.
The love was so unbelievable. The vibe was just off the charts.
Are you guys still doing the 24-hour one coming up?
Last I heard, they're still going to do it. There was some back and forth, but it's still going to go on.
Okay. And today,
yeah.
Sorry, so go back to today. So today was a success. You said over 75 people at Dedham?
In Dedham, over 75, and Nathan Reed and Kelly Reed showed up. Channel 7 News showed up, but the amount of love that was down on that place was just, it was unbelievable. It was indescribable. It was beautiful.
That's fantastic. That's amazing.
Oh my God.
I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal. And I was watching you earlier, and Microdots is just off the hook. He is so talented.
Yeah.
And the way he breaks it down for you to understand everything is just phenomenal.
He just does,
really
man.
is.
Yeah.
I know.
Just so good. And each video just gets better and better.
I know. And I don't get to see your live shows that much anymore because I work at the gym now, so I have to be there at 4:00 in the morning. So I'm asleep half the time when you're on live, and it's I miss you.
Well, you caught me today.
I know, after 279,000 attempts to call in.
Well,
I'm not number one anymore on your list of.
But you always get through. You always get through, Dina. That's saying something.
It's because I ain't got no quit.
You ain't got no quit. That's real. That's real.
Yeah, it is real. But I'm up late today.
That is a testament. I mean, it's a small example. How the fact that you always get through here is just a small example of your tenacity in the Karen Reed movement.
Absolutely. You're the only one I really fight to watch all the time. You're my to-go-to person. And like we said, Boston absolutely adores you.
I love
Boston. We can't wait for you to come back.
I do. I love Boston. I'm totally in love with Boston. I can't wait to go back.
I'm dog sitting right now, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, if the Glera flies into town for the national standout, I'm going to be pissed that I'm dog sitting again. So
you never know.
You never know. But I'll let someone else call in, and I just want to say we thank you so much for everything you do for us. We just love you. And to everybody that came out to Dedham today, you guys are the best. It was just a blowout standout. It was great.
Dina, you're amazing.
Stay safe and stay well. And thank you for inspiring me to join the gym. I'm down 35 pounds now.
I love it. That's amazing, Dina. Dina, you're great. We love you.
Yeah, we love you, Will. Have a good night.
Thank you for everything you do. Good night.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Patricia.
Hi, Patricia.
How are you?
I'm good. You might want to turn me down in your background there.
There we go. So, just started watching you guys like in the past month. Never have called in, never whatever. But you guys are amazing, first of all. Second, I just have to say that this whole thing is utterly ridiculous.
Utterly ridiculous.
If I'm going in a snowstorm, which is snowing in New York right now, and I see somebody laying on the ground, I'm going to knock on every door to try to get this person help.
Right.
This is her friend. This is a police officer, and she just doesn't do anything?
Nobody did anything.
That I don't understand.
That's right.
Except for Karen Reed, who is screaming and trying to give CPR.
The person who's
she's
charged.
The one that got arrested.
Right. The person who's charged and on trial for the second time.
I don't get it. I don't get. And then they're like, "Oh well, everyone, it can't be a conspiracy. Everybody keeping secrets." Honestly, I think a lot of these kids, they didn't realize that they were doing anything. You know, the McCabe's are very smart. You remember you were here at this time. You remember this happened. Oh yeah, that's right. Not even realizing that they were tying themselves into a bunch of shit. And then by the time they realized it, it was too late.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, dude. Like it's and they're acting like this is so fucking absurd. Like, when have you ever seen like a movie that takes place in Boston where everybody's Irish and like the whole vibe of it is they don't talk. You know what I mean? Like that's it. It's sealed, bro. Like Boondock Saints, even like they were like when one of the first lines that Willem Dafoe has is like, "This is an Irish neighborhood. I'm surprised you even got a phone call." Like,
I got to tell you, they better be careful though, because Proctor? Let me tell you, I have a feeling this guy lost everything. He's shit now. Like, he went from being the man to literally shit. Nobody had his back, and I really feel like it's gonna take something. One thing, he's gonna snap, and I think he's just gonna let the floodgates go.
I mean,
and I think he's gonna do it anonymously, but I think he's gonna get it out.
Well, I mean, that's not going to do any good unless he's willing to testify in court. So, but the thing is Proctor, like he's the one that they decided was going to fall on their sword. He's the one they decided. I said this months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
That Proctor is the one that they're going to say, okay, he's the one who's going to fall on his sword. But the thing is there's too many people that want too many answers, and that's just not going to fly. You know, they're going to want more.
How did the jury not? I don't want to be rude to the jurors.
And we're in a
what
time
the fuck
right
were they
now.
thinking?
We're in a time right now where we're sick of being placated. We're sick of being pacified. Like the public is generally sick of this. So that's not going to fly with the Boston public. The Boston public is going to be like, no, that's not enough. We want Karen Reed free, and we want the people who actually killed John O'Keefe, or at least could have helped him, to be held accountable. Period.
I was just in Mass because I have some family out there, and I travel out there frequently. And I saw ducks, which I thought was hilarious. And then I saw a turtle boat with the boom. I saw booms all over, like on the bridges in different places. And I'm like, wow, this is really huge. Like, it's really definitely has its own, its own trend now. And give you guys a lot of props. I don't want to, I know other people want to call in, but I just want to say you guys are amazing. And what you've done is, I don't think you guys did a lot for Karen Reed. This whole thing is amazing. But I think what you did was unlock a lot of other cases to be looked into by now the public and YouTubers, to bring a lot of things to light that were in the dark. And I think that's amazing.
I hope that happens. I'm not sure I agree that we're there yet, but that's definitely part of the effort, at least on my part. I would like,
well, I'm
because this is not going to be the last case I talk about.
Well, listen, I'm a person that's never watched YouTube or really got into all of this stuff, but you got my attention. So if you got my attention, I'm sure you guys are getting others' attention, and then the wheels start turning to say, wow, what the hell else was going on? So I don't think you realize how many people you woke up. So props to you, and keep doing what you're doing.
Right. Thank you. Because what I really have always wanted to do is help people to look at these cases like, they're not just entertainment. I mean, because I understand that true crime is a genre right now. And it's very popular, and it's very easy to separate your empathy from the people involved because they're characters on TV, or
it's like watching a movie, correct?
Something, right? And you got to remember, these are real people. And Karen Reed is not just some evil person that the news makes out to be. You got to look at all the facts, and
it can happen to anyone.
And it can happen to anybody.
You, me, or your next door neighbor. And I've seen things like that where it's like, wait, what happened here? Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. The world is crazy right now. And there has to be some unity. And I think what you guys created is a lot of unity in people to open their eyes. And maybe it's just a handful, maybe it's 2 handfuls, but it's something, and it started. And just keep it going, because it's really incredible.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Well, I'll be watching you and supporting you from afar, and definitely be sharing your YouTube videos. And Microsoft T was amazing. That whole thing was amazing. So I'll definitely be sharing. And I own a business, so I'll be talking about you guys to a lot of people.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And you hit me in New York, so this is all things in
Wow.
Massachusetts. You got us over here, so you
I
got a
love
lot
it.
of support. And good luck to
Nice.
you, okay?
Thank you. Good luck to you
Have
and
a
your
great
business
night.
as well. You too.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, she was awesome. She was really sweet. Yeah, absolutely. Hit the like and subscribe.
Call from Liz.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's Liz. How are you?
What's up, Liz? I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I had left you a few messages earlier, and I had said how if it was my sister in there, I would have ran in that house no matter what.
Yeah.
But then I turned and said that I think she called to tell them to unlock the door. I think she called, told them to unlock the door, and then she snuck in there. You know, she didn't make it known she was going in there.
She sure didn't look like it, did she? You know what I
No,
mean?
she
It
didn't.
looked real shady. It looked like she was like looked like she was
shady.
trying to ninja that shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm from Norfolk County. You know, way back, we used to leave our doors open. But, you know, even if Big Bad Brian, I don't think they left their doors unlocked. You know, you just really don't do that much anymore. I've had dogs, you know. I don't think they left the door. I think she called them and said, unlock the door because I'm going to be running in. I just really think that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely, I mean, everything about Jen McCabe that night was shady as fuck. Like more was shady than wasn't. You know what I mean?
Right. And
like,
and I mean, if I came up on that scene and it was my sister's house, I lost one, my twin, but I'd have been in that house to make sure they were all right. You know, it just, none of it adds up. And, you know, it doesn't add up. It's just wrong. When you said earlier about Karen, every time I see her in them handcuffs, a piece of my heart breaks. Because I think of my sisters. Man. It's just, how can people be that cold and mean that they would frame someone and want to send them to prison? Who does that?
Fear of going to prison themselves. You know, that's the only thing that, you know, it's all self-preservation.
Right,
like, and it's really gross, man. Like it's like crackhead shit, but at like the worst level. You know what I mean? Like, if you've ever known a crackhead, you know what I mean? Like, crackheads are always the worst because they're so everything is self-preserving, and you're just like, God damn, like, and they're always, you got to watch them, you know,
right?
Because but this is murder, you know,
right? But you think they could have just let it go, like, hey, let's let everyone think he got hit by a plow, because that would have been the easiest shit to go. You know what I mean? And I bet that's what they were going to do to begin with. That's why they put him near the street. Let's just say he got hit by a plow,
right?
You know, and. It takes a special kind of evil, though, to twist that like Jim McCabe did. You know, I don't know. She's got no soul, man.
He doesn't, man.
No, and if Karen Reed,
I see a lot of crackish behavior. I'm not saying they smoke crack. I'm just saying I see a lot of crackish behavior amongst these people, dude. Like, it's weird.
I'm from around there, and you know, and I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I wouldn't doubt it, but
and then you got,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's always like, and you look at like the Turtle Boy being Turtle Boy, like, basically, what was he doing before the Karen Reed case? Wasn't he just like pointing out crackheaded?
Losers that, people that sell their
well, like, crackheads hate Turtle Boy, dude. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not even telling you. They post around here on the Brockton House. Anyone want to buy my food stamps for house price? It's like, are you kidding me?
Crackheads hate Turtle Boy, dude. It tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. But hey, I'll let someone else call in. But thanks for carrying this story because we need help here. We need help here big time.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
All right, you're a great dude, and I'd be honored to have you as a son. You keep doing what you do.
Thank you so much.
All right, honey. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Call from
Ruth.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Claire. This is Ruth. How are you?
Hi, Ruth. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. This is my first time ever calling in, but I've wanted to many a times.
Okay.
So there seems things that keep floating in the background that I know better. For example, excuse me, people keep talking about his vomiting down the front of him and it's in his pants.
Right.
And when you have a massive head injury like that, you vomit. That's one of the first things that happens to you.
It makes sense too. It makes sense that, I mean, even if you were to say that nausea would be, you would get nauseous. I mean, that makes sense. That adds up.
Yep.
But even as a reaction,
right away.
I mean, I don't know enough about brains or brain injuries, but it makes sense.
Well, that's a fact. And you throw up right away within seconds.
Okay.
Like literally, because your body it expels what it doesn't need.
Right.
Period. Now that's number one. Number two is, I'm from St. Louis, and there isn't a nurse alive anywhere that will tell you that his injuries are not because he got the crap beat out of him. Period. You don't have those brain injuries. You don't have those facial injuries unless he was beat. Period.
Yeah, there was somebody who I was talking to on the live that got took down. She was making some excellent points because there was the brain doctor that testified, and nobody really emphasized too much on what she was talking about. But she was basically saying that the brain injuries are way more consistent with a beating than what the Commonwealth is trying to say happened to him.
Oh yeah, you can't.
And they didn't cross-examine her, which is crazy. Like the
that is crazy.
Cross-examine her.
And he has brain bleeds on both sides of his brain, in the front of his brain, and that great big slash in the back that completely shattered his skull.
Right.
So the guy got beat, and whether he fell backwards and hit the cement floor or hit the weight bench, something happened to the back of his head that completely shattered his skull. But he has brain bleeds all over the place. And the best I can give you is somebody that's in, say, a motorcycle wreck is an example. And their head gets torqued. They have brain bleeds. And it's usually one side, or then it goes to the other side.
Well, with an injury like that, I would be surprised that there wouldn't be a brain bleed,
Right. His brain got rattled, absolutely positively rattled. And the next thing is, and I mean, I've talked to a lot of nurses. I'm like, oh my God, you have to listen to this case. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, this guy was beat to death. The next part is that I understand from what I remember listening to the trial, and I haven't missed anything, is that Tolly played football with John's brother. Yeah.
With Paul?
Yeah.
Huh.
They played football together.
Okay.
So it kind of makes sense to me that the Chiefs were fed this line of crap from friends and football players and everything else, including Tolly, that they would be so easily gullible to believe it.
Yeah,
just saying.
I agree with you on that. I mean, because I just can't, like, no matter what, I can't ever make sense of why the O'Keefes, knowing everything we know, are still trying to push for Karen's conviction and not trying to save every moment that they possibly can and use it towards catching and proving whoever actually did kill John.
I understand that, but I think it's because they believed it from the beginning. Tully is a family friend.
Yeah, it sounds to me like it's just plain stubborn.
They
Yeah,
can't get their head wrapped around it.
That's all it is. I think it's just they set their mind to something and then they're just like convincing themselves that's what it is for, no matter what.
Right.
But it's crazy. I mean, it's not productive at all.
I understand. And the last part is there's a hell of a lot of blood missing from his head.
Right.
A hell of a lot of blood.
Yeah, they say he lost 3 liters. So
guess what? Did you see the 3 liters in the 6 solo cups?
That's right.
I'm sure shit didn't.
Right. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. None of it adds up.
Nope, it doesn't add up. So I hope that you guys keep right on fighting. I'm fighting from halfway across the country, and if I could be there on your stand-ups, trust me, dude, I would be there. I am outraged that this is going on in the United States. I am outraged.
Yeah, and
the guy was beat.
Everyone should be. Everyone should be outraged about this. I mean, everyone should be.
Yep, the guy was beat to death. It's real simple. Those injuries don't come from anything else other than a beatdown.
Agreed. And a dog attack.
Yeah, well, the dog bit his arm, but the dog didn't kill him. I think the dog was
it was part of the whole thing.
Reacting to the situation with the Alberts and beating him.
That's what I think. If I'm going to speculate, the most that I'll speculate as to what happened inside that house is that Chloe reacted to the violent altercation that took place. And of course, Chloe's instinct is going to attack the outsider, not any of the familiar people at the home. So instinctively, she's going to attack the outsider, even if the outsider is being attacked by the owners of the home.
I agree.
Almost even especially because it's following the lead of its owners.
Exactly, and it's instinct.
Right.
The dog will protect you no matter what.
Right. So yeah, I don't think that Chloe initiated the attack. I think Chloe just reacted, and then they were like, "Oh shit, we're gonna have to get rid of this dog."
Right. Yep. And I kind of sort of think they put him out there in the middle of the night because I think that they were going to blame the tow truck driver.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most common theory is that they were planning on saying that he got hit by the plow, and then Jen McCabe chimed in and went, "Wait a second, there's an even better story here. Karen already thinks that she did it."
Right.
So we'll just pin it on her.
Pin it on the girl. Sure.
That's it. She already thinks she did it. So, we tell her that there's a case against her and she'll plead guilty. Problem solved. Everybody goes home, forgets all about this.
Right.
But
what a tragedy.
Yeah.
I hope this time that there's justice. I mean, I hope to God there's justice.
I hope so too. At least we know Sandra Birchmore is getting some justice. At least we know.
Thank you, Jesus, happening. For that. We wouldn't be that far if it wasn't for this case.
It was, yeah. So I mean, that's something to acknowledge as well. Thank you for pointing that out. Look at the good that's come from supporting Karen in this case.
Right.
Bringing this much attention onto the efforts that Mizzy has put into the Sandra Birchmore case
Right.
It's produced results. You have to believe that us talking about this and bringing awareness to it has put pressure and has brought
Yep.
results. You
I
have to.
definitely believe that. I believe that for sure.
Right. And so that's why Karen needs our support moving forward. That's why Aiden needs our support moving forward.
Yep.
We're the power. We're the force behind their fight.
I hear you.
We are.
I'm hoping that when we're doing this trial, whenever it is, I would like to have my ass on a plane to come to Boston and stand outside the court with y'all for real. That's how strongly I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a hell of a thing. I'll tell you, it's a different, it hits different when you actually meet those people. It's different when you meet Karen and her team. It's different when you meet Aiden and sit down and break bread with them. It's different, you know,
I'm sure.
because you see them just being themselves and being for real, and it's really no different than anything that you've seen, you know.
I'm sure.
It's just Karen is really grateful, you know. Aiden is really grateful. He makes sure to let you know that when you meet him in person, him and Meredith, just very, very kind, hospitable people. And Mizzy is fantastic as well. Just it was meeting everyone in person was not in any way, shape, or form remotely disappointing. It was more than I could have. It was more than I could have hoped for and expected.
I bet not.
Such a
But
positive.
it would be
experience
okay
meeting
if
each
I didn't
person.
meet any of them. If I just
Yeah.
stood there and showed my support, then that would be good enough for me.
And I'm here to tell you, you know, it's Scott meeting Scott McGinnis as well. I'm here to tell you, having met them, you know, I'm no different than any of my listeners. I'm just up here talking. You know, I just feel the same way as you guys, just up here talking. And I'm telling you, meeting them is exactly just that kind of experience. Was everything that I could have hoped for and then some. You know,
I'm so
such a positive experience.
I'm so glad. That makes me thrilled.
I hope it does. I hope it you know,
it does. It takes away your words, doesn't it?
Yeah, anybody who trusts what I say, you know, please trust.
I do trust you.
That those folks are amazing, all amazing people.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I've been watching you from jump.
And all you have to do is like watch Tom CPU's footage too to see it for yourself.
Oh yeah, I watch him, and I watch Turtle Boy, and I watch Melanie, and any chance I have to see Mark Betterow, I watch him. Which I've always been. I mean, I'm a nurse, but I should have been a lawyer. Everyone tells me that, but I follow towards that side of the law. I just do.
I mean,
so,
if you believe in justice, you got to believe in the truth, and you got to have faith in the truth. And that's what we're all here doing. Is we're all here acting in faith of the truth. We know the truth. We believe it will prevail, and all we can do is just talk about it. Continue talking about the truth. Continue putting the truth out there, discussing it, and you know, listening to it. And just perpetuating it, making sure that the truth gets circulated. That is that's what we're all doing in a group effort. The listeners, the YouTubers, we're all doing that in a group effort, and it's really important, and it's working. It's working.
And the nurses and medical personnel here in St. Louis are doing the exact same. So
I love
just
it.
so you know, there's
I was born in St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't born in St. Louis. I was planted here.
I was born there. But yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah, they say bloom where you're planted. Where here I am. Listen, it was so nice to talk to you.
You too,
I
Ruth.
appreciate the time that you spent with me. And I hope
appreciate
that
you calling in.
you guys spend a little bit of time and think about what I said from a medical point of view. This
Will do.
man was beat to death.
Yeah, we all believe it. We all believe that.
There's no question he was beat to death.
Yeah.
All right, kiddo.
All right. Thank you, Ruth.
You have a great night. Thank you so much.
All right. Good night, Ruth.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Call from
Bonnie.
You're on. Who am I speaking with? Oh, they hung up. They hung up.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh my God, I wasn't even going to call.
Oh my God.
I wasn't even
but you
going to
did.
call.
But you did.
I did. And you know what? It's so freaky weird because I didn't even try that hard. You know. But I wanted to call you just to touch base.
Tell everyone who you are.
Oh, not that Dina.
Not that Dina. Got through.
Not that Dina.
Again. Not that Dina. Amazing.
I was actually cooking dinner, and I was kind of listening to you on the side, and I was like, oh, you know what? I just wanted to call and give a couple of shout-outs, if that's okay.
Do it.
All right. So, Auntie Deb, do it. The award show the other night, bomb. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I watched that.
I got
twice.
a bone. I got a bone to pick with everybody because I haven't watched it yet. But I don't think I won anything. I think I was nominated for a few things, but I don't think I won anything.
I nominated you for so many things. The only other person I nominated was Melanie, and she got 2, and she's the shit right there. That kid. I love her.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying I don't even know what I was nominated for and what I want.
Best Eyes.
Best
was
Eyes.
one of them.
I didn't win.
No, because Melanie's like she glows.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, Melanie won over me. Okay, I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can because she's the shit right there. Yeah. And the other thing is, I had a couple of conversations with Lacey Jane. She's got like a whole apparel thing out, and I talked to her on her live the other night, and she's got like dog stuff and everything. And I think she's just like the sweetest human being. And I think that she's really on the right side of everything, and that people should like pay attention a little bit to what she has to say because she's a smart girl.
Who are we talking about?
Lacey.
Oh yeah. I had the thing on Twitter with her, right?
Yeah, she's a doll, and she's active and she's trying, but she's kind of like just breaking into the whole deal, and I think people should care. And I'm really excited for the worst stuff, and it's terrible to say this, but I'm really excited for all the court dates to come up, just because I'm so sick of the trash that's coming through. I don't follow any of these people on the other side, but they're everywhere. They're all over my feed.
Oh, they're gonna show up on Twitter no matter what, man. Like that's the thing about Twitter. That's how Twitter works. Like you can block them, but you won't be able to see it. But you can't remove them from your threads or anything. You know.
I've blocked some people. Like I had some people like randomly just show up. I mean, everything that I follow is either political or it's this case. And then I got people showing up following me that like got like just the most nastiest profiles, and I'm just like, yeah, I just don't want to see more of that. And you know, I don't understand Twitter because I only been on there for like a year or less than. But dude, come on now. I mean, it's just find a better way. It's just so gross.
I subconsciously, I think, have been not on Twitter as much. But follow me on Twitter.
Of course I do.
Follow me on Twitter if you're on Twitter or X, whatever.
I actually downloaded Instagram just to see more pictures of your dogs and your dog and your cat. I got you and I got my son. That's it. That's my Instagram. I don't even know how to use it. So
here, click on this.
Huh?
I'm telling the chat. Click on that and you could follow me on Twitter.
So anyways, I'm not going to hold you up. Let some more people come up and do some Rich stuff to you. Do you remember Rich?
Yeah. Rich.
No,
Schiffer?
you don't. No, I said to you once, you're too nice and you let people go on and on. So the next person that came up was Rich. Or Rich, I think it was. And you were like, yeah, fuck you, Rich. I'm too nice. And you hung up on him. And you're like, don't be Rich.
That sounds like something I might do, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, it's all right. They do. The rest of them do. You're a sweetheart, but you're a dick. And that's why I love you. So you have a great rest of your night. I got to go finish and take the dog out and all that good shit. And I'm glad I got to say hi.
All right, I'm glad you did too. Both Dina and not that Dina. We love you.
Just Dina. Love you. Good night, sweetheart.
Good night.
Bye.
All right, I'm gonna take one more call.
Call from.
Oh, they hung up. They hung up.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
This is some guy with cancer here to make everybody uncomfortable.
Some guy with cancer. What's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing. Actually,
No, that's applause for you. That's applause for you, not your cancer. Okay. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. I was gone all last week because I had multiple procedures in Houston, and so I missed most of what went on last week.
Oh, you're not
when
missing
you're when the anesthesiologist says, "I'm going to give you some happy juice," you're going to sleep. That's what he means.
There you go. Yeah.
And so no.
How you feeling overall, buddy?
I'm good. It was actually a good report. They did what's called a cryoablation, which is they basically go in and they put needles around the spot, and then they basically freeze it. And they freeze it, thaw it some, freeze it, thaw it some, freeze it. And so they had to do that on my lung, which, even now, if I take too deep a breath, I can feel it like, oh, it's a little sore, but not too bad. They had to take out part of my diaphragm at one point. And
Jesus.
I don't know if you've ever tried to breathe with part of your diaphragm missing, but
I have not.
0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
Okay. All right. 0 out of 10.
Although the other night you were watching KP's video where she was trying to do the Microdots thing and be like serious, and I was watching it, and all I could think is, this reminds me of that story I read when I was a kid, Flowers for Algernon, where
I know that title, but I'm not familiar with the story.
They take the janitor who's got a IQ of 68, which I think is higher than KP's, and basically do these unethical experiments, and he gets really smart, and then it basically it doesn't stay permanent, and at the end he ends up regressing even further down than he was.
Oh wow.
And she's somewhere like down, like where he ended up, not even where he started. And I tried to watch it, but it went on, and I was like, look, I had not taken enough narcotics to do this, and I turned it off. I couldn't take it.
Well, luckily, Turtle Boy came up and he told the true story, the unedited version of what really happened, and it was really interesting. It was very, very fascinating.
Yeah. And like I said, I missed it because I couldn't take it. Like,
yeah, no, I hear you.
You know, there's only a finite amount of time we all have, and
you don't plan on wasting years listening to Kate Peter. I get it.
Yeah, like I'd find something more productive to do, like, you know, run headfirst into a tree or something. I mean,
I hear you, man.
You know, listening to that, I was thinking, you know, if I ever started heroin, now would be the time that I'd be jonesing for a fix because I need it for this shit.
So just for the record, folks, some guy with cancer doesn't do heroin to ease the pain of his cancer, but he would ease it. He would use it to ease the pain of Kate Peter. Just for the record, folks.
Yeah, well, I've never used it. I'm just saying, like, if there's any time that you ever think I really need a downer, it's listening to that.
All right. On that note, some guy with cancer, we wish you the best. Thanks for calling. Please get better. We believe in you.
All right. Thank you. I'm actually working part-time now, so.
All right. Well, right on.
So, but anyway, have a good night, everyone, and thank you for not turning on Plevin and making me look up ways to accelerate.
I reserve the right to bring up Plevin and play him. I reserve the right, my friend. But
I reserve the right to send you the darkest super chat ever.
You sure do. All right, some guy with cancer. Feel better, buddy. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Damn, I missed that call. I'll take one more call. We'll go a little over. Buffalo 24, Baltimore 19 with 12 minutes. Really, wow, it sounds like a good game. Sounds like a lot of defense, though. Not enough scoring.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Yo, it's Jen.
Yo, what's up, Jen?
You know, just really enjoyed the last caller about the heroin. That was hilarious. I mean,
yeah, some guy with cancer. I mean, you got to leave it to some guy with cancer to liven things up.
So
amazing.
I mean, I don't know all the previous calls, and this is probably random, but I think one of the things that people do not pay attention to with this is how quickly it can happen to you.
Yeah.
Like, she could be any of us. Karen is any of us.
Agreed.
And that's fucking scary.
Right.
Sorry for my language.
Oh, yeah, you fucking should be.
I know.
But no, I completely agree with you. Everyone in the chat agrees with you. Look how easy it was. Look how easy it was for things to fall into place for them to point the finger at somebody.
So somebody very, very convenient, and I'm an ex-cop, and I work at the medical examiner now, and I've seen things. I've seen cover-ups. I've seen bullshit. When I was a cop, I had it happen to me. And now at the MEs, like, I see shit all the time with accidents. And so it's so hard to sit here and listen to this being basically a DUI hit and run.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I'm trying to tell everyone, man, like, at this point, like, if you're thinking just that Karen Reed should be acquitted, but you're not thinking on the level that Karen Reed should have never even went to trial in the first place. She should have never been charged in the first place. You're thinking on the wrong level. You need to be thinking in terms of she should have never even been charged. Period.
Yeah, you need to be thinking about how this type of abuse of power was able to be conspired and administered. That's what people should be thinking about.
That's exactly
it doesn't take anything for someone to fucking write a fraudulent police report to say something in there that is not true, and you're in jail.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely wild that this has gone where it's gone, and that you know, people don't want to believe that. I think that's part of the craziness. Is I think a lot of it is people don't want to believe that a local government is capable of this.
No,
you know,
even other cops don't want to believe that.
Right. Yeah.
Or you know, I mean, when I was a cop and I had that happen to me, and my career basically got destroyed, and I sued them. It was like finding out Santa wasn't real. For me to know that other cops were doing this,
I would have never. Like, if you would have just told me, you know, like if say fucking Dolly Vision were to say, oh, I think she's innocent, and there's all these cops that conspired, I'd have been like, nope. I'd have been like, that's fucking bullshit. That's crazy bullshit, right? Like,
yeah.
But the fact is I somebody actually very credible was like, I think she's innocent. But you can't read the articles. You have to look into you have to read the police reports and the statements. You have to go by that, the documents. You have to. So that's what I did, and I'm glad I did. But I'm saying, like, if somebody who is fucking practically fucking brain dead, just known on YouTube for being stupid, and is sitting up here saying Karen Reed is innocent, I would have totally doubted, and I probably wouldn't have even talked about it.
Yeah,
I would have never done a deep dive into it, you know, unless that person was like totally just like harassing somebody and talking shit and harassing somebody. If that would have happened, then I would have been like, all right, I need to look into this myself so I can disprove this person and discredit them. And then we would be telling a different story. But the thing is that would never happen, because everyone with any brains believes that Karen Reed is innocent, or at least believes that there's no way that the Commonwealth can prove that she's guilty.
Exactly. Or they believe, hey, people have fucking rights, and this should never have happened, and there's a cover up. You know, I mean, it sucks to have to believe that, but it's the reality. And every single cop in that department knows that it was bullshit. But they are complacent because they want to fucking keep their jobs. They have families to feed. They have shit that they have to pay for. And if they say something, they are going to be blacklisted.
Agreed. Yeah, there's too much to lose. I mean,
it's like silent complicity.
Doing the right thing would cost each person who would be obligated to do so too much. It just would.
Yep. Yeah.
And
it's true.
So it's not difficult to believe why each one would keep quiet. It's not. It's just a simple understanding of each one of them has way too much to lose by doing the right thing. It's simple.
Until you know that feeling of utter piss off and betrayal that Karen Reed is feeling now, to say, fuck all of you, I will burn this down to the ground, like proving what is true. But she had to be put through the shit to say, this is shit.
Right.
I didn't, like, how is this, like, does nobody know all this shit is happening? Which is how Karen Reed feels now. I never knew like people were going to jail innocent. Like she said that, at that fundraiser, and she's like, I had to be put through this to understand what is going on and be real angry.
Yeah, and she's fighting all through it. I'll tell you right now, man, the Reeds right now, they're in I'm not, I don't want to say fuck it mode. That's not really the proper it's not the accurate way to describe it, because they're focused, but they're pissed off, it's no longer a perspective of, oh my God, why is this happening to us? This is fucking happening, and fuck that, it's not happening. We're not letting it happen. Period. That's it. That's where the Reeds are.
It fucking happens. I'm going down with the fucking shit.
They're like, fuck everyone who gets in our way. Like
you have to get to that. I mean, when they were trying to get me to go away quietly, I had to have my attorneys, they said, look, if you resign and go away quietly, we won't say anything in a personnel file. And I knew I was right. I knew that they were lying. And I said to them, to my attorneys, well, kindly tell them to fuck off and die, because I had resigned myself to, I will fight until they destroy me or I win. And I won, and it was a great feeling, but
because Karen Reed
really get to that rage mode.
Karen Reed isn't just fighting for the right thing, she's fighting for her life,
Right.
So it's like fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like fuck you. If it's you or me, fuck you. It's you. And I have the truth on my side. And I'm just going to sit on the truth, or I'm going to take a plea because I'm tired. Fuck all that. No, that's not an option. It's not an option.
Yeah.
You're not going to wear me down. You're not going to wear me down. As long as Karen Reed has our support, she's going to fight.
I just hope it doesn't destroy her parents. I was looking at the dad at that last hearing, just he looks worn down.
Don't let Bill Reed fool you, man. He looks that way, but when you talk to him, man, there is fire in his eyes. There is.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just the pain of this.
He's ready to go.
Your child has to go through this.
Yeah.
God.
Bill Reed is ready to rumble. I promise you that. Make no, don't let him fool you. He's ready to rumble.
Yeah.
That dude, he's spry. I promise you that.
They're wonderful, and okay. I'll let somebody else talk, but I just think this is people need to open their eyes.
Yeah, and they are more and more. They are. Things are going good. So
all right, kind sir.
Yes, thank you for calling. I appreciate you.
Okay. Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, folks. That's going to be it for me. Guys, you are absolutely fantastic. I had an excellent time. And again, a big thank you to all of you guys. I see Estes in the chat now. It's good to see you. All of you guys who went and stood out today, big shout out to you guys. Big love to all you guys who went out there and participated. And I want to thank all you guys for watching. I know Aiden's going to go live in about 45 minutes, I believe. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. And I appreciate you guys. Make sure the link is in the description. I don't have it up to copy and paste it anymore, but the link is in the description. Make sure to like the Microdots video that I played. So if you're catching this on a replay, make sure to go into the description, click on the Microdots video. Make sure to click on Karen Reed's Defense Fund. Make sure to click on Turtle Boy's Defense Fund if you're feeling generous. Thank you guys for all of your support to me. I really appreciate that. Please, guys, make sure to hit the like and subscribe if you're not already. And thank you guys to you new subscribers. I really appreciate all you guys. Seriously. I hope you enjoy the channel. moving forward. I am blown away every single time that I am live. Thank you guys, especially to all my callers, for being so awesome. You guys were the best. So, guys, I love you very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.